Marietta.
Marietta?
Marietta? Guys!
Oak Ridge. I don't want to do the hand thing. Should I? It's dumb. Yeah. Should just step up. Oak Ridge Cemetery.
Oak Ridge Cemetery.
It's historic.
Old.
Old. One of the oldest cemeteries in Michigan. 65 acres, also one of the largest. This cemetery has 15,800 burials. And we are going to find the coordinates that she found last night and try to find Mr. Adam Crosswhite. Adam Crosswhite's grave. And the rest of his family, if they're there. We're gonna see what we can find. Originally developed in 1839, the Oak Ridge Cemetery property is 65 acres in size and composed of 4 developed sections. Oak Ridge Cemetery has approximately 15,800 individual burials and is one of the largest and oldest historic operating cemeteries in Michigan. The Department of Public Works is the department responsible for the management and the general care of the cemetery property grounds. This includes mowing and trimming of grass, maintenance of drives, trimming of trees and shrubs, as well as decoration removal twice a year. Since its inception in 1839, Oak Ridge Cemetery has become home to the burials of many of Marshall's founders and prominent citizens. These include Isaac E. Crary, John D. Pierce, and Sidney Ketchum. All right, so here we are in the car. She's got the coordinates up on her phone, and we have it set to walking. And it looks like we're walking very fast. 3 minutes walking from here, so it's we got to be close. We have to be.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. All right, it says to go back the other way.
Gotta go this way. Right, this way.
I think.
Yeah.
I think maybe we're going too fast. By the time it's catching up, okay,
oh,
we're
I got
close.
it. Okay,
you
we're
got
over
it?
here. It's over here. Is where it's saying.
Should I? Hold on, let me flip this around.
Yeah, it's saying it's like right up here.
It's saying it's right next to us. It's one of these.
So
it's got to be one of these.
Right here, and then we can get out and we can walk.
Okay. In 1846, slave catchers tried to capture escaped slave Adam Crosswhite and his family in Marshall, Michigan, in an attempt to return them to their owner in Kentucky. Instead, in one single brazen, bold act of courage, the citizens of Marshall rallied together, arresting the slave catchers and smuggling the Crosswhite family safely into Canada. We found it. Now the sun's back out. Now the sun's out. We found it just as the sun is coming up. This is wonderful. So the Underground Railroad was established before the Civil War. And at the time, the railroad was one of the most popular forms of transportation. So it wasn't uncommon to hear terms like conductor, passenger, things like that. So the railroad was the method in which the North freed the slaves from the South and facilitated their safe travel to Canada and freedom. So I believe the conductor was somebody who was in charge, was somebody who was helping the slave, and the slave was the passenger. What else was there? Do you remember? Passengers were escaping slaves, and station masters and conductors were sympathetic people along the route who helped the escapees on their way to safe passage. Stations along the Underground Railroad were usually a night's travel apart. So they would travel in bursts, sleep and then proceed to the next station until they reach freedom. And here we have Adam Crosswhite, died January 23rd, 1878, aged 83. And we are just so happy to have found this grave.
This is a very popular and famous grave that I've been actually trying to find for quite some time. I actually just started going down, like, I was just Googling it and going down rabbit holes until I found a thing called Find a Grave. And I put in his name, and then I knew his, of course, date of birth, and then date of death because of just Google information and things like that. And then it popped up with the name of the cemetery, but it popped up with like map coordinates, and just like shits and giggles, I happened to hit it, and it actually dropped a pin for me right on maps. So I was like, no flipping way. Actually, last night, I was like, no way, I cannot believe, I think I found it. So I was like, we're gonna go here today, and we're gonna see if we really did. And yeah, so we got Adam Crosswhite, but I don't know where his wife and his kids would be buried. That's something we should probably Google later, but.
Yeah, this here's Sadie, yeah.
Which they don't really mention a whole lot about her, but apparently she's just another enslaved, child that just went with them. So no relation to the Crosswhites, but just a child that had went with them to escape from slavery. And then she died, what it says, 11 years of age, February 23rd, 1876. But I also thought it was interesting because I'm like, oh wait, she died February 23rd, 1876. And Adam died January 23rd, 1878. It's only a couple years after her. And it's just kind of crazy. January 23rd, February 23rd, I don't know.
Same day, only 1 month apart in 2 years.
Yeah.
Only 2 years difference. And look at the deterioration of Sadie's grave. All the moss versus Adam's.
And the sad part about it is too, is who knows if even like her family or anybody that's in relation to her, even knows where she's even at.
Yeah.
And buried. Her family could be back in Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? So they escaped from Kentucky to Canada, but while they were waiting, they stopped here in Marshall, apparently. Well, and then the two, what did they call them back in the day? Like, I don't want to say bounty hunters, but
it's basically they were slave chasers,
slave
for lack
catchers,
of a
like bounty, I guess, came from Kentucky looking for them. Well, what happened was the whole town of Marshall, all the people in the town of Marshall, they said, nope, no way, you're not gonna do that here. They wouldn't give up the Crosswhites at all. They kept them hidden and safe. And what ended up happening is Kentucky ended up charging every single one of the citizens in Marshall for, I can't remember the exact terms, but basically for keeping a slave, an owner's property.
Yeah.
And
harboring his property or theft of property, something.
Yeah. His property or something like that.
Very by the books charges.
Which then sparked them to do some sort of an act that then said that nobody could, if anybody captured, somebody's slave, they had to return them. They couldn't keep them.
Yeah.
That's what sparked that whole act. And I can't remember the specific act, like I said, but
one of the fuelings,
pieces of it.
One of the things that fueled the Civil War.
Yeah, so then that also then fueled the Civil War. And so then the Crosswhites then eventually went to Canada, made it to Canada. They stayed there until after the Civil War was over. And then they came back and lived here in Marshall and stayed here in Marshall until they died and then buried. However, like I said, now that we're here, I only see Adam Crosswhite, but I don't know where his children and then his wife would be. And then this Sadie was actually just kind of a surprise, to be honest.
Yeah.
A bonus information.
Yeah,
I don't know, a bonus treat to the
in researching
historical research.
In researching Adam, I remember you had found a website that had pictures of Adam's grave, but it also had Sadie's in there.
Yes, but we couldn't even read.
Didn't know. Yeah, couldn't read the grave from the picture.
Read it from the picture, so we had no idea what this even was. We thought maybe it could be possibly his wife's grave. But then coming here in person, seeing that it's Sadie and reading up on it, it was like, no way, that's crazy, because they don't really mention her a whole lot.
And such a large grave too for an 11-year-old.
Yeah, and then he's got
and he's
small,
and so far away,
from you.
Nothing around him. I know it looks like this one is right next to him, but if you look from the right angle, you can see they're quite far apart, and there is nothing from the tree to his grave to that tree. He is the only one in this line. I wonder what the reason for that, if there is a reason for that, or if it's just one of those things.
Yeah,
do you think his children could be buried next to him, just unmarked?
It's a possibility.
Further research had confirmed that others had come to much the same conclusion. Apart from Adam and Sadie, no other Crosswhites could be found in this location. You had said slaves.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Slaves weren't marked.
Yeah, it's a fact that back in the day, you know, when slaves would die, I mean, they didn't really, I mean, they looked at them as a property, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't really have records or keep records of slaves, you know, grave sites and things. So there's a lot of slaves that are buried in unmarked graves everywhere. Not just Michigan, probably all of the United States, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't doubt it. They could be here, but then again,
you never know.
That's another mystery for us to solve.
Yes, more research. Back to Zoinks. Back to the van, everyone.
Back to the van, everyone. We have a mystery to solve.
Yes, and can do.
And we probably will. I don't know.
Yes, we will. All right, so we're here about 900 feet south of where the original Adam Crosswhite cabin once stood. This memorial, this plaque, and this stone marks the spot where the attempted recovery of Mr. White took place, where the townspeople stood around to protect his cabin, to protect him and his property, and to keep the slave owners and those coming to capture and recover him from getting through.
On this property right here where the Crosswhite's cabin once stood, Sarah Crosswhite was barricaded in a bedroom inside her home with her children to keep safe, and Adam was allegedly outside trying to fend off the slave catchers. But while he was doing that, the townspeople of Marshall got word and started gathering around and coming from all different angles everywhere in Marshall and surrounding his house and trying to keep Adam and Sarah and their 4 children safe from the slave catchers from Kentucky.